Hello, La Grand Alive. Welcome to Coffee with Will, brought to you by Grand Ron Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Grand Ron Hospital, EONI, and Les Schwab Tire Center today. And I'm here with Jewell Walter. Did I get that right?
Yes.
And she is here today to chat with me a little bit about her amazing online business, Dainty Jewels, that offers a modest alternative for people looking for fashionable clothing. So, Charity, thank you so much for joining me here today. It is so nice to have you into the studio to talk a little bit about what it is you're doing and how you're doing it. So, tell me your story. How did you get to where you are? You said you're from North Carolina?
Yes, from North Carolina.
So, how did you get here?
Well, it's a long little story. I met my husband. My dad was a preacher and evangelist, and so he preached a lot at the Lighthouse Church. And I met my husband when I was 15.
Wow.
And that's really young to think about now. And I met him when I was 15. We started dating long distance when we were a little older. I won't say how old. I was still young. And then, so we dated long distance, and I got married in 2013. We got married, and I moved across the country, and I moved with one rack of clothing. I moved in a little 6x10 trailer.
Wow.
That
is impressive minimalism right there.
All of my stuff. That's impressive. And then Dainty Jewels, too. Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. The rest is history. We've been married for 5 years. We just had our first little baby boy.
Congratulations.
Monty. Yes.
You say his name is Monty?
Well, it's actually Montgomery, but we call him Monty for short. So, yeah. And we love him.
That's good. That's a good prerequisite for having a kid is having some love for them. Absolutely. So now, did you have Dainty Jewels before you moved here?
I did.
Or was that something that... When did you start that? When did you move here?
So I moved in 2013. I started Dainty Jewels in 2009. So we've been going for almost 9 years. Our 10-year anniversary will be next year. Really excited about that. But I started it when I was 16 in my bedroom.
Wow.
In my parents' house. It's probably half the size of this room we're in right now.
Wow.
At least, maybe smaller, and which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
My parents always pushed, starting businesses and using your talents, creativity, the talents that God gave you.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of people I didn't even realize that this was a talent of mine. I wanted to be a dental hygienist. So if that tells you anything.
Different and interesting ways that our lives take.
Yes, right. And so right about when I was supposed to start choosing a college career, decisions about college and stuff, this kind of exploded. And so I just decided, I'm just going to wait on college and see what happens. And so I still haven't been to college yet.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Hey, man. I was actually looking earlier at your Facebook page. Now, Facebook, La Grand Alive, if you don't know, this is a pretty serious online business. They have 85,000 likes on their Facebook page. You probably get orders from all across the world, right?
Yes, all across the world.
This is a big deal. This is not little local whatever it is. This is a big deal that she has going on here. So when was the moment when it turned from Charity's little half room
filling orders in my bed
to what it is now? How was that?
So it's so crazy to look back and see God's hand in every step of our business because the timing was so perfect. So like I said, college time, I didn't know if I should go to college, whatever. My business started exploding. I didn't really have time to figure it out. So then it worked. Well, when I got married and moved with one rack of clothing, I had sold down a lot, obviously, because I have to travel across the country. And so I'd sold down a lot, and that was about the same time I started manufacturing. Originally, I started making headbands. So this is how this started. Yeah. But then it went to clothing, and I was using seamstresses in North Carolina. And so... when we got married, I was like, I'm going to have to let you guys go because, I can't do it long distance because of clothing. Well, the transition was perfect. They were worn out from keeping up with all my orders, so they were totally fine with it. And then when I transferred here, it was when I started manufacturing. I shipped my first 2 designs that I manufactured in bulk to my husband's rental house before we got married. And he tells the story, it took up pretty much the whole living room. And that's when he knew it was going to be a big deal. And he was a plumber at the time. So he's like, oh my, what am I getting into?
Oh my goodness. He's no longer a plumber now. He works full time for Dainty Jewels.
Yeah.
Fun how our lives take us.
Yep. We went from a plumber to clothing design. So interesting. But so that's when when I transferred here, manufacturing, and then that's kind of when it blew up because I was able to produce my items in bulk. Wow. I could fulfill orders. Before we were making them all. So it was like I almost dreaded more orders because I couldn't keep up really. Yeah. And so we started out at a rental house on North Depot, a bedroom in that house. And then we bought a house here in over by the Observer. And we moved our business downtown to First Street, actually right on the corner underneath Sac Annex. We had 2 storefronts there. Wow. Quickly outgrew that. Yeah. And then we moved over to Jefferson where there was a warehouse. It was about, I think it's about 3,500 to 4,000 square foot. Wow. Filled that to the brim. It was embarrassing when people would come see us because it was so full. Yeah. And then now we're at our new warehouse where we're kind of full, but
there's a little bit of wiggle room.
There's a little bit of wiggle room.
That's awesome.
And we can expand there too.
That's awesome. So now the cool thing, about, your business, and, I know you're nervous to talk about this, but it is such an integral, and it's such a cool part of your business, because, and I think what the massive response that you've had speaks to kind of the massive agreement that a lot of people have to sort of the foundational principle behind your business. Yes. In that modesty and beauty are not antithetical. They're things that can be joined together. So why is that a part of your business, and how did that become a part of your business? I know you've talked about God a couple times in this. Is that a part of this? How does that all fit together for you?
So that's a huge question because I feel like my mind's going a million places.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
I feel like, first of all, I want to say that our business is blessed because of God. Yeah. Like I said, His hand's been in every step. I remember when I was, younger, just starting, situations would happen, customer care, all these things. Business owners will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, all the things that come with business.
And I would just be so distressed. My dad was a pastor. We had church in our home at the time. And so I would go to the little altar call that we had in our front room, and I would just cry out to God, I need direction. Sure enough, it would all fall into place. Everything would work out. But I feel like He's been in every step of the way. We're able to give so much now to causes that come up. Like there was a huge flood a couple years ago in the South in Louisiana, and it completely destroyed a church that we were associated with. We were able to give to that cause. There's different causes, and I feel like we're blessed because of it. God's blessed us to be a blessing to others. Yeah. But that doesn't have anything to do with modesty. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, it does though. It does though, because it's a part of what you feel your business is all about.
I feel like it's the foundation of our business for sure.
Absolutely.
But the modesty side of it, when I was, a teenager, and teenagers go through a lot of things, but one of the main things was, you go to the mall or you go shopping and you can't find modest clothing, especially then. Now we have a lot of styles now are becoming more and more modest. I've noticed, interestingly, that especially in the fall and winter, you can find modest clothing in the malls. But anyways, back then, I was one of the first few modest online companies. I think there was 2 others. So when you Googled modest clothing, it was very, very little. Now there's a lot more. But I started it because I seen there was a void. There was a missing piece in the fashion community, And so I embellished my own clothing for conferences and special events. And people started complimenting me on them and were like, you should start selling those. I'd already started selling headbands, so they knew I sold stuff. Yeah. And I was like, no, that's too much work. And then I got tired of people saying, you need to sell, it was a specific dress that I can think of. Yeah. You need to sell that dress. So finally I was like, okay, I'm going to launch a clothing collection in 2 weeks. Yeah. I thought it was that easy, young. Yeah. And so I did embellish, remade a few vintage pieces, and the demand grew for those. And my seamstresses, like I said, were wore out by the time I moved. But modesty, there was a missing piece. And so I knew that I needed to create something not only for myself, but the generation after me. Just so that way, it makes it easier. And really, it started a trend. It really did. I see a lot more, like I said, a lot more skirts and tops on even the fashion runways in New York. Fashion bloggers, you'll notice there's dresses is a thing now, and skirts are a thing. And I don't think it's all me.
Yeah.
But working hand in hand with the other companies, we were able to, start something like that. So start a trend. Hopefully.
Yeah. And
kind of cool.
That's very cool. And it's funny because when I first told my wife about my now wife, then fiance, about your line, she was like, that is so cool. You have no idea how frustrating it is to go clothes shopping and never be able to find anything in my size that fits me. Modesty that is both fashionable and modest,
and classy,
and classy, because it's like there's either classy and fashionable, or there's modest. But in your kind of vein of thinking and in your business and your model, those two can come together.
Yes, and I've had so many people remark about how, my dresses aren't just frumpy and just there, They're actually dresses that they want to wear. Some of them are tailored. We have tailored styles. We have fun, frilly styles, ruffles. We have full dresses. I know this is probably foreign language to you.
I'm really good at listening and just kind of taking in things. I have no idea what they are, but that's okay. Keep going.
But so we have all different kinds of styles that are fashionable and you want to wear them. They're very classy. They fit amazing. Yeah. And so that's different from what I feel like it used to be, the word modest. Yeah. So we want to make it pretty. We want you to feel feminine. We want you to feel elegant, And so that's a big deal to us when I'm designing them. It's a really big deal to me because like before, if you were to dress modestly, you would have to have it tailored or added to and kind of look pieced together, wear an undershirt, wear a long sleeve or shorts, whatever it is,
Yeah, that's really true. Lydia, my wife, she's like, I have to wear like 5 layers to make this work. Yeah.
And by the time you buy those 5 layers, you might as well have just bought, a dress. So I feel like that our business caters to that need because it's missing. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with me a little bit about what it is you're doing. Thank
you for the invite.
No, absolutely. I think, and I'm trying to think of the last question that I had because I know I had another question. Oh, so the other question I had for you was, who is buying your clothing? Like, I was interested, because you've had such a big reaction, who do you find, and maybe you know this answer or maybe you don't, is buying your clothing? What particular demographic of people is saying, yes, this is the type of clothes that I want? And maybe I wonder, why are they buying this? Why are they buying these clothes? I guess the question that's really beneath the question is, why are these people so interested in this modest but tasteful clothing? Yeah.
So, a large portion of our clients are brides, and they purchase for, their bridesmaids for weddings. It's really hard to find modest formal wear. But I feel like our customers, they're looking for, like I said, they're looking for that modest taste, but also being feminine and also, being elegant and feeling pretty when you're wearing it. So I've also... this just came in my head, but I've had so many dads thank me for providing clothing for their daughters because it's a struggle. It really is, like we've talked about. So we have a lot of brides. We have just the everyday people. We sell a lot of casual dresses too, so it's not all formal wear. Yeah. We have several return customers that buy from us. So. And we really cater to all ages. So we carry a lot of styles that are for like more youth ages, but we also carry like more styles that would be great for mother of the brides, more sophisticated women, and we carry plus sizes. So we're able to cater to all these people, but I really feel like it's people who want to dress more modest. Some of them, like for me, I wouldn't say that it was just like modest, but I like that style, you know. I like that classic vintage Jacqueline Kennedy look. I feel like it just screams elegance.
Yeah.
So, you know, many ladies in leadership today, they dress like that, and I just love that classic look.
Yeah.
So you can't say woman anymore. You know, being a lady, being elegant. So, but yeah, I feel like we have a lot of brides. Younger, we really cater to all age groups. But a lot of our revenue is from brides. We do get a lot of orders.
Absolutely. So what's really interesting to me about you, and this isn't really a question, it's more an observation, you know, like it's so interesting to me. I'm really interested in sort of the how people, the points at which different sort of things connect, and you have found this really unique and interesting way of sort of uniting this really sort of powerful, strong, entrepreneurial woman, like a being, but at the same time, no, it's a compliment. I mean, you have a thriving online business. I mean, you are an entrepreneur, but at the same time, you still hold true to your roots as, you know, a Christian, as someone who sort of connects with their, you know, with the ideas of modesty and of dressing modestly and those kinds of things. Like, and that's so interesting and very cool to me, how those two things unite. I mean, you are a powerful sort of doing this thing, but at the same time, and I think that is a very cool thing.
Thank you.
Now, my last question for you is, you know, for someone who, you know, maybe young ladies out there, and you can just tell me this, you don't have to look at the camera or anything.
Okay.
You know, maybe for young ladies out there who are like, oh man, I want to, you know, they're kind of coming up and they're struggling with like, okay, I want to be beautiful, but at the same time, you know, maybe there is that impulse towards a little bit of modesty in there. Like, is there a tip that you can give them, some encouragement, you know, maybe that it does exist, or what would you say to them?
So, one of the things is that I believe that dressing modestly is a form of worshiping God. So, sorry, I don't want to get all technical, but in 1 Timothy 2, verse 9, it talks about how God wants us to dress modestly. And so, if you think of it in that way, you're bringing glory to God. You know, it's not all about us, really. It really isn't, you know. And so, when you're putting on these dresses, or when you're putting on pieces of clothing that cover more your body, and not so revealing like the world constantly is pushing. You know, society is constantly pushing that at our young girls. Just think about, you know, I'm making a bigger difference than I realize. Not only that, but it's not just about me. It's about God. It's about His light shining through me. I'm saving myself for my future husband. That's another thing. It's not about us, you know? And there's a confidence in it when you wear modest clothing. You don't feel like, you know, I'm revealing too much, or they're looking at me really weird, you know? So I found that it's a bigger picture than we realize. But there's confidence in it. It's beautiful. You stand out more than you would ever stand out dressing.
That is true. When I see like Mennonites walking around, I'm like, wow, there's Mennonites, you know. You really do. You stand out more. You stand out,
which we're supposed to, you know. I feel like God created it as a plan, you know. So you do stand out. You make a difference in the world. You're inspiring others. I think it's a bigger deal than we realize. So,
absolutely. Well, I think if you didn't think, absolutely. I think if you didn't think it was a big deal, you probably wouldn't be doing the thing that you do today. So, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with me today. And thank you, LeGrand Live, for tuning into this Coffee with Will. If you're interested in knowing more about Charity and her line of clothing, she can be found online at, what is the website?
DaintyJewels.com. 2 L's, though.
2 L's, LeGrand Live.
That's my middle name.
Dainty Jewels with 2 L's. You heard it right here. Thanks for tuning in. This Coffee with Will was brought to you by Grand Ron Hospital, Anything to Digital, EONI, Les Schwab Tire Center, and Grand Ron Hospital. I'm Will Bowman, and we'll see you next time on Coffee with Will.